My wife cheated on me, and my stepdaughter told me to stop acting like her father, so I did. A year and a half later, they came back wanting to reconnect, but I've already moved on. Hello, did.A plus here. I married Vanessa when I was 33. She was this magnetic, ambitious woman who walked into my life like she owned every room she entered. She had a daughter, Alyssa, who was 9 at the time. I didn't care that Vanessa was a single mom. I admired her strength. She had been through a messy breakup with Alyssa's biological father, who was basically a deadbeat, popping in and out of their lives like a bad habit. I promised myself I'd be different. If I was going to marry Vanessa, I was also committing to Alyssa. And I did. For 11 years, I was there for every scraped knee, every school play, every teary night after a fight with friends. I taught her how to drive, helped her with college prep, and paid for every lesson, every camp, every little thing she needed. People used to tell me they admired how I stepped up for her, and I was proud of that. We had what I thought was a stable marriage. I worked as an electrician and made a decent living. Vanessa was in sales and always had dreams of moving up the ladder, and I supported her completely. When she got a big promotion 2 years ago, I celebrated her success like it was my own. But looking back, that was when things started to unravel. The signs I missed. Vanessa's promotion came with a pay raise, more travel, and more confidence. She started buying new clothes, designer dresses, heels, and jewelry we couldn't realistically afford. She started getting her hair done every 2 weeks. She joined a gym, something she never cared for before. I was proud of her, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something had changed. She'd spend hours on her phone, hiding the screen from me. She started saying she needed to work late or go to business dinners more often. One night, I woke up around 2 a.m. and found her sitting on the couch, laughing softly into her phone. She jumped when she saw me and said she was talking to a West Coast client. I didn't push it. I trusted her, or maybe I was too scared to think about what it could really mean. Then I overheard Alyssa talking to her friend one afternoon while I was fixing a cabinet. She said, "Mom's leaving him after Christmas. She says we'll be happier without him." I froze. That night, I confronted Vanessa. She didn't even try to deny it. "Yes, I've been seeing someone," she said flatly, arms crossed. "I feel alive with him. You and we're over." I was gutted. 11 years of marriage, and she said it like she was discussing the weather. But the real knife to the heart came the next day. Alyssa, the girl I'd raised as my own, looked me straight in the eye and said, "You don't have to act like my dad anymore. Mom says I'll be fine without you." That broke something in me. The divorce war. I filed for divorce immediately. I thought maybe we'd split things fairly, walk away, and try to rebuild our lives separately. I couldn't have been more wrong. Vanessa went nuclear. She hired a cutthroat attorney and filed for everything. The house, my retirement savings, spousal support, and full custody of Alyssa, even though I wasn't her biological father. She accused me of being controlling and emotionally distant, even hinting at abuse. A complete fabrication. She wanted to bleed me dry. She wanted me to walk away with nothing. I was devastated, but I wasn't stupid. I'd suspected her affair for months and had been quietly gathering evidence. I had screenshots of flirty texts, emails she sent to her sister about her new boyfriend, and even a receipt for a weekend getaway she'd charged to our joint account. I handed everything to my lawyer. When we got to mediation, Vanessa walked in with her head high, like she was about to win a trophy. She smirked at me across the table, confident she'd walk away with the house and leave me scrambling to afford rent. Then my lawyer opened the folder. We laid everything out. Proof of her affair, proof she was funneling money into a secret account, proof she had lied about work trips. Her smirk vanished. The mediator looked at her, unimpressed, and asked her lawyer if they wanted to adjust their demands. Suddenly, the spousal support she was demanding disappeared from her proposal. So did her claims for my retirement fund. Custody wasn't even an argument once her lawyer realized I wasn't Alyssa's legal parent. The house? I kept it. Vanessa walked out of that mediation pale as a ghost. All her plans to ruin me backfired spectacularly. Moving on selling the house was bittersweet. I'd built a life there, but I didn't want to live with those memories anymore. I sold it, bought a smaller home closer to work, and started over. Alyssa didn't reach out. Neither did Vanessa. For months, I buried myself in work, therapy, and the gym. I started dating again cautiously, but I focused mostly on rediscovering myself. I wasn't just Vanessa's husband or Alyssa's stepdad anymore. I was me. Then, a year and a half later, they showed up at my door. The reunion Vanessa looked nothing like the confident woman who had once smirked at me in mediation. She was tired, thinner, and nervous. Alyssa was with her, older now, but she wouldn't meet my eyes. Vanessa broke down first. He left me, she said through tears. He was cheating the whole time. I made a mistake. I miss what we had. Alyssa wants to see you. Alyssa finally looked at me. I'm sorry, she whispered. I didn't mean it when I said you weren't my dad. I thought I had to choose Mom's side. I felt like someone was stabbing me in the chest. For a moment, I wanted to hug her, tell her everything was okay. But then I remembered the night she looked at me and said, I wasn't her father. I took a deep breath. I'm glad you're both okay, I said calmly. But I've moved on. I can't go back to that life, Vanessa begged. She said she'd do anything to make it work. She said she was willing to start over, that Alyssa needed me. But I was done. I had a new partner now, a new life, and I wasn't about to let them back in just because everything blew up in their faces. As they left, I saw Alyssa crying, and it broke me all over again. But this time, I didn't cave. They made their choice, and now, I've made mine. For a moment, I just stared at them, feeling this strange mix of anger, sadness, and pity. They had both torn me apart in different ways. Seeing them like this, it didn't bring me joy, but it also didn't bring me pain anymore. I'd done the work to heal, and I wasn't the same man they'd abandoned. Please, Vanessa said softly, her voice breaking. Can we come in? No, I said simply. The words seemed to slice through her. She flinched like I'd hit her, and Alyssa bit her lip, glancing at me with those big, tear-filled eyes I'd once adored. Mom's right, Alyssa said quietly. We messed up. I messed up. I thought you didn't love me anymore. I thought he was going to be better for us. You mean her boyfriend? I asked flatly. Alyssa winced, but nodded. Yeah, him. Vanessa sobbed. He promised me everything, said he'd take care of us, said I deserved better, and then he left me for some woman he met at his gym. She shook her head in disbelief, laughing bitterly. Turns out he was cheating on me even before I left you. I didn't feel sorry for her. Not anymore. She'd traded in a man who had loved her and her daughter fiercely for a guy who treated her like a disposable toy. That wasn't my burden to carry. Vanessa, I said calmly, you burned every bridge you had with me. You didn't just cheat. You tried to ruin me. You took me to court, lied about me, tried to take everything I'd worked for. Do you have any idea what that did to me? She nodded, tears streaming down her face. I know, and I regret it every single day. I thought I was doing what was best for me and Alyssa. I thought I could build a better life with him. I was wrong. And you? I asked Alyssa, turning my gaze to her. Do you regret what you said to me that night? She froze, tears spilling down her cheeks. I didn't mean it. I was angry, confused. Mom told me you'd be okay without us. She said you didn't really love me. Her voice cracked. But I knew that wasn't true. You were the only dad I've ever had. And I threw you away. That one hurt. I'd spent years treating her like she was mine. Late-night fevers, school dances, heartbreaks. Every milestone, I was there. And yet she'd tossed me aside like a stranger because her mother had whispered poison in her ear. I'm glad you're safe, I said quietly, but I can't let you back into my life. I've moved on. I have someone who loves me, and I won't put her through this mess. Vanessa stepped forward, desperation in her eyes. Please, Mark, we have nothing. I lost the house, I'm drowning in debt, and Alyssa barely speaks to me anymore. I need you. We need you. I shook my head. You needed me when you had me. You made your choice. Now you live with it. I closed the door. Their downfall. A few weeks later, I heard through mutual acquaintances that Vanessa had moved into a tiny apartment on the outskirts of town. She'd lost her job. Turns out her business dinners were no secret, and word had gotten around about her affair with a married coworker. No one wanted to work with her anymore. Alyssa dropped out of college for a while. She'd always been a bright kid, but I think the family drama broke something in her. I heard she picked up a job at a diner to help with bills while Vanessa scrambled to find work. And that guy Vanessa left me for? He married his gym girlfriend. Vanessa was a footnote in his story. Part of me wanted to feel vindicated, but all I felt was relief. I had built a new life. My new partner, Jenna, was everything Vanessa wasn't. Warm, loyal, grounded. She didn't care that I was just an electrician. She admired it. For the first time in years, I felt loved for who I was, not what I could provide. The unexpected encounter. 2 years after that night on my doorstep, I ran into Alyssa at the grocery store. She was older, wiser looking, and wearing a waitress uniform. When she saw me, she froze, like she wasn't sure if she had the right to talk to me. Hi, she said softly. Hey, I replied, offering a small smile. I'm doing better now, she said nervously. I'm back in school. I wanted to say thank you for everything you did for me, even if I didn't see it. Then I nodded. I'm glad you're doing well, Alyssa. She hesitated. Do you hate me? That question cut deep. No, I said after a long pause. I don't hate you. I'll never hate you. I just can't go back. You understand? She nodded, tears welling in her eyes. Yeah, I do. We said goodbye. Moving forward. That night, I realized I'd finally let go of all the bitterness. Vanessa and Alyssa had hurt me deeply, but I wasn't carrying that pain anymore. I'd built a good life. I was engaged to Jenna. I'd expanded my business, and I had real friends who stood by me through everything. Vanessa had reached out once more, asking for another chance, but I never responded. Some bridges aren't just burned, they're reduced to ash. And while I still think about Alyssa sometimes, I know she's finding her way. She's no longer my responsibility, and I've made peace with that. Because at the end of the day, I survived. They tried to break me, but I rebuilt myself stronger than I'd ever been, and I'll never let them drag me back into their chaos again.